great honor for me to be sitting here with these gentlemen because I'm really not at all an expert in this area. I have done work in energy for the last few years, and I had the privilege of leading a trade mission that USIBC organized to India a couple of weeks ago, and I see many familiar faces here in the room who joined us, and I think that we're getting there as a council. But I'm seated next to Mr. Subramanian, who hardly needs an introduction. He is, of course, the former Secretary of New and Renewable Energy, who blazed a trail for India's new and more robust incentives for the development of renewable power in India. And it's with great humility that I sit on the same dais with him. He's also USIBC's advisor on renewable energy matters. And so with no further ado, Mr. Subramanian, if you wouldn't mind giving us just the big picture of where things are in India's renewable energy sector. What has changed in the last year? We know that with Copenhagen as a backdrop, there's a strong force for commercial opportunities to open up. You know, India has been very firm in not making any commitments to quantifying its emissions, and a firm resistance to setting any targets for its reduction of emissions. So this obviously has shifted the burden to its own domestic efforts to mitigate the growth of emissions. And you know, we look at 20,000 megawatts of solar by 2022, 10,000 megawatts renewable of energy efficiency gains by 2012. Obviously, these are some big opportunities, but if you wouldn't mind, please give us your take on where India is going to be going in renewable energy. Where are the opportunities for U.S. companies there? Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I mean, coming with this seminar, one hears what the challenges in it. I used to be the government, and I'm here in the individual capacity. Had the challenges been posed to me when I was associated with the government, I would have said these are not challenges, these are small little problems that could be overcome. But now that I'm out of the government, I think I have more right to criticize than what I could have done while I was with the government. And it's much easier to criticize having known the sector from inside. That's one advantage I have which most of you do not possess. The second is one of the things we talk about renewable energy from rooftops is about the government of India having had a Ministry of Renewable Energy for over 26 years. I mean, a ministry that no other country managed to set up all these years. In fact, when I retired from the government, I wanted to take up consultancies to various other countries as to how to go about setting up a Ministry of Renewable Energy, and 2 years down the road I get an opportunity to offer consultancy to them how not to mismanage it. I mean, these are the two things. But having set up the ministry, what has been the achievement so far? That becomes a very, very crucial thing. I mean, nothing much to talk about except in wind sector. Wind is something which was given a boost in the 90s by the Union government by a fiscal policy of giving accelerated depreciation on investments that went to wind sector. I mean, was it really the effort of the Ministry of Renewable Energy, or is it just that the fiscal policy facilitated? It's very, very interesting today if you look at India. People talk about 8% of the capacity being in renewables. It's not a small percentage. And nearly 2% of power flowing into the grid from renewable systems. That again is not very small. I mean, 2% is considerable in India. But take a look at the economic survey that comes out every year. Till this year, economic survey does not even mention renewable as a source of power in India. I mean, this is something very, very interesting. If you look at it, neither the budget talks about it nor the economic survey talks about it. By and large, the Ministry of Renewable Energy has been a fringe ministry. On the fringes of the government, you call it economic policy fringe or ecological policy fringe or fiscal policy fringe. It's been a fringe ministry. And normally it's a ministry that has been allowed to continue and exist, to accommodate politicians who have to be accommodated and civil servants who cannot be accepted anywhere else. This is how the ministry has progressed all these years. And one of the major challenges that I faced was to bring it back into the mainstream for people to take cognizance, people to talk about renewable energy. Even if you take the climate change negotiation, be it Kyoto or upcoming Copenhagen, I doubt whether renewable energy is as much on board in the negotiations as the other ministries are. And one issue is people keep talking about renewable energy being an ideal solution for rural areas, remote areas where you cannot take conventional power through transmission grids. And renewables have never been a 24/7 solution anywhere in the world, not even in Hawaii in the USA. I mean, it's not a 24/7 solution. I think Hawaii has about over 80% diesel-based generation. I mean, renewable was a solution. If it had been a solution, you would have done it by this time. And the fact remains that renewable is unfortunately seasonal, intermittent, and it can at best supplement and complement the power that's generated by the conventional power systems. And the other complication that we have in our country is power, according to the Constitution, is a concurrent subject. A subject that is dealt with both by the Union government and the state governments. How exactly states adopt a proactive role in promoting renewables? This becomes a very, very important issue. It's not just a land allotment or facilitating installation of windmills or solar panels. They have to really put in certain amount of money from their budgets in supporting it. I mean, invariably they come around and say, even for remote villages, at best what we are able to offer is about a few hours of lighting in the evenings to the villages. And it is not power in the real sense. There is no productive power, there is no 24/7.